Hello everyone, this is my main Xbox since long ago. It's such a great console, definitely my favorite Xbox. I have so many great memories with it and I decided to clean it. Firstly, there are two screws at the back and for that I'm using a Torx TR10. One screw is here. This is how it looks. And the second is hiding behind the seal. By removing it, it voids warranty, if there is any. I'm using the same screwdriver. And now, facing the inputs, I simply slide the top plastic cover. I don't slide it much yet, but firstly I lift it from the left side. I need to be gentle because there are some plastic tabs and I don't want to break them. Those are the slots on the top plastic cover. And those are the clamps. They're all intact and nothing is broken. Now facing the console where I put the disc inside, I'm gonna remove all screws. But for a better organization, I'll start with the bigger screws. Keeping everything organized makes the assembly process much easier later on. Here are 6 long screws. And now I can start removing the others. "11 such screws. For removing these two, I need a Torx T8. These screws are thinner and smaller. For removing this front board, there are 3 Torx T8 screws. They're also different from the previous, so I'll keep them separately. I pull the front board, but I'm gentle because it's still connected through a ribbon cable. Here is where the cable was connected. And for removing the Wi-Fi card, there are another 3 screws. With the same Torx T8, I am removing all of them. Two of them are silver and one of them is black. Here is where it was connected. And now I can leave the console itself. This is the bottom plastic cover. I turn it upside down so I can see the cooler fan. For removing this, I am back to the Torx T10 screwdriver. And here one is longer than the other. Just to not be confused, the shorter goes here and the longer goes here, near the cooler fan. So far, I see the radiator is pretty clean. This is where the air is pushed out. However, I expect to find more dust inside, near the fan. I remove the Blu-ray drive, then the power supply. I unplug both cables for the disk drive. Also the hard disk drive. So I have to go through all these steps if I need to replace the hard disk. Here I unplug the cooler fan. And on the other side, I lift the power supply. The cable is clamped with the cooler fan. Yeah, it's surprisingly clean. Such small power supply. I remember how traumatizing was the power brick on Xbox 360 and Xbox One Fat. Yeah, not bad. Now the last screws. Those are Torx T8. They're all smaller, so should not be confused. The thermal pad got stuck on the metal cover, but doesn't matter. For removing the X-clamp, I'm using the same Torx screwdriver. But the T8 doesn't fit, so I'm using a T6. Yeah, this works like a charm. And the X-clamp is removed. Now turn it upside down. And this is it. I see the thermal paste has dried. Same thing on APU. And now I start the cleaning, using a soft brush, cotton swabs, and cotton pads with some rubbing alcohol. Here I'm extremely gentle. I apply the new thermal paste, and I can start the assembly. I have to match those thermal pads. Now I can put the motherboard back. I'm starting with these screws. For that I'm using the Torx T8 screwdriver. Now I'm putting back the AC input, but this is gonna be fixed by the cooler fan. Everything looks good, and the AC input fits perfectly. I plug the cooler here, and the hard disk drive. It has to match the holes because it will be secured on the other side. The first cable and the second one. I have to make sure they're all properly connected, otherwise I'll have to disassemble it again, and I don't want that. And the Blu-ray drive with this ring at the top. Great. Now, the longer screw goes here, and the shorter screw here. I'm using a Torx T10. Here are just like some plastic pivots. And the holes where they need to fit on the plastic bottom cover. So I have to consider this, otherwise the console itself will not fit inside the plastic cover. I'm starting from this side. I slide it a bit. And I push it. Now on the other side. I connect the ribbon cable so I can put back the front board. Here is where the ribbon cable goes. And is properly secured. Now with the Torx T8, I'm putting back all 3 screws. Here it connects the Wi-Fi. Right here. But I have to consider this plastic. Firstly, the black screw. These 2 screws. And the 6 long screws. I'm using the Torx T10. The last remaining screws. At this point it's a bit tricky, but once you know what to do, it's extremely easy. On the left side is shorter, and here I have a larger part of plastic. So I'll be starting with this, where is the Xbox logo. Here are the clips I was tacking at the beginning, so I matched the holes from the top cover with the clips from the bottom cover. That's it. Now I can push on the other side and just slide it. Simple as that. Once more. Slide. slide. And the last remaining screws. One here and another one here. The assembly is complete. Everything is perfect. My Xbox One X is now ready for games. Have a great day and see you in the next video.